Murdoch.
Just a quick question with regards to this event. Is it possible for us to consider it in a phased approach? Because obviously we did without 3 large overhead doors on the Ann Street property for quite some time, and we could, if we spread it out over several years of budgets, then we're not going to be hit with a $500,000 to $750,000 new building at any time, and it's just kind of a purposeful use of something that we already have that isn't being used perhaps fully, and so why wouldn't we think in terms of just doing it gradually, replacing the roof this year, replacing the doors next year, replacing this, that, whatever?
I think if you were looking at, if you didn't have that building available to you right now, I think if you were considering a new place to build a shop, you wouldn't choose that location because it is located in a residential area. It's located where parks are, where people frequent. Just because a building exists, I don't think we want to constrain ourselves to that location because the location itself is not ideal. Typically, we would want a works building to be outside of a core residential area because there's going to be heavy traffic at possibly all times of the day. In the summertime, there will be many children there, which means there will be an interaction between children and people frequenting the parks that are present. The other consideration is that it's just an old building. If we're looking at this building, if we want to look at our alternative being a 40-year solution, it's not necessarily going to be there because that building's already 40 years old.
Good follow. What do you see the purpose of that building then if we don't use it for this? Because I think that people would be in uproar if it was taken down, and if we don't have a purpose for it otherwise, I don't see a vision. I know Martin had come up with a suggestion or not, but other than that, I don't see it's practical use.
One thing we can look at that building for is if hypothetically, if we were to consolidate to the Northville shop primary operations, we will still need some sort of small equipment storage in the south zone so we can mobilize to a work site fairly quickly, and that building would be adequate for that. Right now, that's currently what we use it for, is for storage. Anything like signs, or in the winter time when rather than storing some of our equipment outside, we use it for overflow for small equipment.
So we will have to pay the money eventually for its improvements.
No, it doesn't need to be approved for that.
But the roof will need to be, and other things will need to be.
The roof, the roof's already budgeted to be replaced. I think it's this year, actually.
This year.
Regardless, if we keep that building for any purpose,
It's going to have to happen.
It'll have
Investment.
maintenance. It'll have maintenance on it.
Very regular
Same with any building.
Are we gonna go into the capital?
Yep, I'd like to.
Sorry, I threw us off. I thought I was
No,
doing a good thing.
You hate your word.
We're being
Councillor Russell.
Yeah, to go to your issue, if you don't mind, I'd just like, before we get into itemize, I'd just like to ask a question through you, Janet, about the overall. We only have $325 million worth of assets. You went through all that work to do the asset, whatever it's called, analysis. So now we're at the starting point of actually doing real accounting, right, in a real sense. Well, I mean, municipal accounting never was real, we all know that. So, I guess what I'm thinking is I went through this, we're going to call in, we all know that, but when would we be thinking about a process or answering to a process that says, okay, $325 million worth of stuff? And because when you read down the one list, I mean, what brought this to my thinking was Marty saying $750,000, that's the so-called replacement value of an old arena, right? Or the value it was in 1949, I have no idea what that is. That's one of those figures that you told us about when you did the valuation. Isn't that what that really is?
Right.
Okay, so what I'm asking about is in terms of that longer term program, are we toward that with the Watson? Or how much more do we have to go to get it comprehensive, or is it comprehensive now?
Where we're at right now is we have a software that meets our reporting requirements, our information is stored in the database, and where we're going is I have a report coming on Monday to look at the asset management plan, which we as council had committed to last year, and part of that grant process that we just submitted yesterday is that we will have to complete that at the end of 2013. It involves more software as well as consulting fees to make the asset management plan come together.
I just thought it was a good starting point because that's a continuation of the bigger picture.
Yeah, and basically it'll refine this process too because it'll show you what you should be putting into reserves because we're really low on that.
I really want to reserve.
You make comments all through this. That's what.
Yeah,
That's okay.
so we'll start by going through the overview, or we're gonna do page by page. I'd like to get through it. You know, I think that the items that we have to deal with are resurfacing, that type of, so Janet, in this overview, it talks about,
Basically, it's just a summary of what's included in each schedule, just a brief overview of what it's been, and the only thing committed to is, through the fire department, is the truck and force, it's
Yep.
previously committed to. And it's on the way, so each schedule will show the reserve and projections for the future. As you said, the transportation is the one that may need some prioritizing by you and or financing if you do come up with a solution for the South Depot. The water and wastewater basically doing what was included in the rate study that you've already had a chance to look at.
questions on the water, couple pages. And the wastewater pages, 3 of 38, 4 of 38. Those numbers are budgeted basically on what we're projecting to, program where we're at. Transportation, on page 5 of 38 is the facility. We don't need to tender a budget on anything on that, and if we leave that amount in there, is a matter of, until we get this further report on where we stand, so. We'll come back to that, I guess, at the next budget meeting, or when?
No, I won't be the next, it'll take, honestly, I don't think you'll have this for probably another couple of months.
Okay. Councilor Russell?
After him saying that, but that doesn't necessarily mean we can't go forward with the budget process.
Right.
Because those are nuances more than they are
Yeah.
actual dollars.
Yeah.
And it may be a decision on how it's funded and financed.
So this is basically, what we're saying is this is the upset limit to do the project. It's in the budget, not spent, it's not, because it's in here doesn't mean it's already decided by council that this is what we're doing.
Good change.
This is in the budget, but it's not a decided matter.
I just wanted to ask on that, because under wastewater, under the Grand Bend treatment plant, we have not had that discussion about the deferred benefit committee.
It's not a decided matter. It's in the budget, same as it has been for the last number
Yeah.
of years. Captain Mary Dyke?
Just looking at things like the Peppered generator replacement, for $38,000, are there not JET monies, are there not other emergency measures monies available for those sorts of things, as opposed to being allowed?
No,
Does it, is there anything alternative?
No.
Emergencies?
No, because it's not for the purpose of emergency management, I think we'd have a hard time justifying it for that measure for it, that it would function in the event of emergency, but the sole purpose is not for an emergency situation. It's a fail-safe for case anything ever happens, even just a normal power outage, which is.
We could make a good argument to think that it's
We could,
emergencies.
I guess the problem is that the JEF doesn't exist anymore.
But just wondering, is there not any other alternatives for emergency measures?
Not that I'm aware of, not through EMO.
That program's gone, it's gone. Councilor Underwood?
Hate to throw a wrench in the thing, so when's the long-term plan for emergency generator for Forest?
That is the end of the JET program that we're currently in. We have been awarded it. I need to start working with the Legion, because the Legion was designated as the evacuation, so I need to pick that conversation back up.
Okay, and if it doesn't work out with the Legion, then we can move it to,
We'd have to have that confirmed with them.
so the Legion right now is what it is as of, the emergency plan is right now. Is the Legion, so. Okay, good, thank you.
Okay. I'm on page 7, road reconstruction. Decompression, Elber Street.